All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is Sunil Verma. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate completed section of Kanpur Metro Rail and Bina-Panki multi-product pipeline today. Health Ministry issues guidelines for vaccination of children and booster dose rollout. Centre asks poll-bound states to ramp up vaccination. Uttarakhand imposes night curfew as Omicron cases rise. Kerala to also impose night curfew from Thursday. Full Election Commission to arrive in Lucknow today to review preparations for assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. Home Ministry decides to create a mechanism to prevent increasing use of darknet and cryptocurrency in narcotics trade. Registration for Prime Minister's Pariksha Pe Charcha program begins today on mygov.in. India to chair Counter-Terrorism Committee of UN Security Council in January 2022 after 10 years. And in Under-19 cricket, India defeat Afghanistan by 4 wickets to enter semi-finals of the Asia Cup in Dubai. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause of concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news since 16th August and will continue till 15th August 2022. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Recalling our yesterday's question, historic Kuka revolt in Punjab occurred in which year? The correct answer is 1872. The Kuka movement marked the first major reaction of the people in Punjab to the new political order initiated by the British after 1849. The Namdhari movement, of which the Kuka movement was the most important phase, aimed at overthrowing the British rule. The Kuka movement evoked feelings of self-respect and sacrifice for the country. AIR News got an overwhelming response from its listeners across the world, and the one lucky winner of the quiz is Sukanya Chakrabarti from Dhupguri, Jalpaiguri, West Bengal.
Namaskar, I am Sukarna Chakraborty from Dhupguri, West Bengal. I am an avid listener of All India Radio since my childhood. Amrit Mahotsav quiz is a fantastic endeavor which is instrumental to increase our knowledge of our freedom struggle. Our next generation ought to know the huge sacrifices made by our patriots. It is very heartening to note that I have been selected as a winner of Amrit Mahotsav quiz arranged on the 75th year of our independence.
And coming to our 40th question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz in English, which great patriot, considered as the father of the Indian school of modern chemistry, said, "Science can wait, but Swaraj cannot"? I repeat the question. Which great patriot, considered as the father of the Indian school of modern chemistry, said, "Science can wait, but Swaraj cannot"? Listeners can send their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 8826546262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in.
And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Kanpur today and inaugurate the completed section of Kanpur Metro Rail project. During the program, the Prime Minister will also inaugurate the Bina-Panki multi-product pipeline project. The completed section of the Kanpur Metro Rail project is a 9-kilometer long section from IIT Kanpur to Moti Jheel. The Prime Minister will inspect the Kanpur Metro Rail project and undertake a metro ride. The entire length of the Metro Rail project in Kanpur is 32 kilometers and is being built at a cost of over 11,000 crore rupees. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate the Bina-Panki multi-product pipeline project. Extending from Bina refinery in Madhya Pradesh to Panki in Kanpur, the 356 kilometers long project has a capacity of around 3.45 million metric tons per annum. The project has been built at a cost of over 1,500 crore rupees. Prior to this, the Prime Minister will be the chief guest of the 54th convocation of IIT Kanpur. During the convocation, all the students will be issued digital degrees through an in-house blockchain-driven technology developed at the institute under the National Blockchain Project. These digital degrees can be verified globally and are unforgeable. A report.
This will be the first time in India where a convocation will be conducted inside the bio bubble. Kanpur IIT has made arrangements to do RT-PCR tests of all the attendees a day prior to the convocation. A subsequent rapid antigen test will also follow on the convocation day prior to the opening of gates to the venue of the event. IIT Kanpur will be hosting physical convocation after a year, as last year it was held virtually. On the occasion, a total of 1,723 students will be receiving their degrees and 80 prizes and medals will be given. 21 students will also be awarded the Outstanding PhD Thesis Award in the second session of the convocation. Moreover, 3 honorary doctorate degrees will be given to 3 eminent personalities, Professor Rohini M. Godbole, Senapati Chris Gopal Krishnan and Pandit Ajoy Chakravarti. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Kanpur.
The Prime Minister has said that the development works being launched in Kanpur today will improve urban infrastructure and boost ease of living for the people. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he is looking forward to being among the people of Kanpur.
Union Health Ministry has issued guidelines for COVID-19 vaccination of children and precaution dose to healthcare workers, frontline workers and for citizens above 60 years with comorbidities. Vaccination of children in the age group of 15 to 18 years will begin from 3rd of January and for healthcare and frontline workers it will begin from 10th January. For children, the option of vaccination will be only Covaxin and registration will begin on CoWIN from 1st of January. The guidelines said beneficiaries can self-register online through an existing account on CoWIN or can also register by creating a new account through a unique mobile number. The appointment for vaccination can be booked online or walk-in. Talking to AIR News, Chairman, COVID Working Group Dr. N.K. Arora gave details of the vaccination.
15 से 17 साल के जो बच्चे हैं उनको कोवैक्सीन नाम की वैक्सीन जो उपलब्ध है वो लगाई जाएगी और हर वैक्सीन की 2 डोजेज हैं। पहली वैक्सीन और दूसरी डोज के बीच में 4 हफ्ते का अंतराल रहेगा और कोशिश की जाएगी कि हर बच्चे को जल्दी से जल्दी 17 साल के बीच में ये वैक्सीन लगा दी जाए। सीनियर सिटीजन जो 60 साल से ऊपर हैं उनको अगर कुछ कोमॉर्बिडिटीज यानी कि दूसरी बीमारियां है जैसे डायबिटीज है, ब्लड प्रेशर है, किसी को कैंसर है, किसी को ट्रांसप्लांट है, उनको भी जो तीसरी डोज जिसको लगानी है वो वही वैक्सीन लगाई जाएगी जो उनको पहले लगी थी। तो जिनको पहले कोवैक्सीन लगाई गई थी वो तीसरी डोज भी कोवैक्सीन होगी, जिसको कोविशील्ड लगी है उसको कोविशील्ड लगाई जाएगी। यहाँ पर ये जरूरी है कि दूसरी डोज इन बुजुर्गों में जो लगी थी और अब जो तीसरी डोज लगी है उसका अंतराल कम से कम 9 महीने होना चाहिए।
On 25th of this month, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his address to the nation, announced the COVID-19 vaccination for children aged between 15 to 18 years. He also announced for precaution dose to healthcare workers, frontline workers and for citizens above 60 years with comorbidities.
वैक्सीन की 140 करोड़ डोज के पड़ाव को पार करना प्रत्येक भारतवासी की अपनी उपलब्धि है। ये प्रत्येक भारतीय का व्यवस्था पर भरोसा दिखाता है, विज्ञान पर भरोसा दिखाता है, वैज्ञानिकों पर भरोसा दिखाता है और समाज के प्रति अपने दायित्वों को निभा रहे हम भारतीयों की इच्छा शक्ति का प्रमाण भी है।
The Centre has reviewed public health response measures and vaccination status with 5 poll-bound states. These states are Uttarakhand, Goa, Manipur, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan held a high-level meeting with these states to review the public health response measures for containment and management of COVID-19 and the vaccination status. Mr. Bhushan advised these states to ramp up vaccination of all eligible population through district-wise weekly plan with daily review. Uttarakhand and Goa have reported vaccination coverage for the first and second doses higher than the national average, while Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Manipur had below the national average. The poll-bound states were also advised to exponentially increase the testing to ensure that the infected cases are identified promptly for timely initiation of public health response measures and to ensure that there is no sudden upsurge in numbers due to low testing.
Uttarakhand government has imposed night curfew in the state as Omicron cases rise. Night curfew will be in effect from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. As per the order, essential services such as movement of ambulances, vehicles carrying health personnel and postal services have been exempted. Private vehicles will also be allowed to commute for emergencies during the night as long as they strictly adhere to COVID-19 protocols. The Kerala government has decided to impose night curfew in the state from Thursday. The curfew will be in place from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. from December 30th to January 2nd. The state government directed that New Year celebrations will not continue after 10 p.m. on December 31st in a bid to prevent any increase in COVID-19 cases due to the festivities. The seating capacity in bars, clubs, hotels, restaurants and eateries will remain at 50%. These decisions were taken in a COVID review meeting presided over by Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan yesterday.
In our bilingual live phone-in program tonight, Corona Jagrutak series, Dr. Arvind Kumar of Medanta Hospital, Gurugram, will be with us to answer the queries related to coronavirus. This program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on telephone number 011-2342-1230 and 011-2342-1764. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.gov.in and YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate completed section of Kanpur Metro Rail and Bina Banki multi-product pipeline today. Health Ministry issues guidelines for vaccination of children and booster dose rollout. Centre asks poll-bound states to ramp up vaccination. Uttarakhand imposes night curfew as Omicron cases rise. Kerala to also impose night curfew from Thursday. Full Election Commission to arrive in Lucknow today to review preparations for assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. Home Ministry decides to create a mechanism to prevent increasing use of darknet and cryptocurrency in narcotics trade. Registration for Prime Minister's Pariksha Pe Charcha program begins today on mygov.in. India to chair Counter-Terrorism Committee of UN Security Council in January 2022 after 10 years. And in under-19 cricket, India defeat Afghanistan by 4 wickets to enter semi-finals of the Asia Cup in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The full Election Commission, led by Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra, will arrive in Lucknow today on a 3-day visit to Uttar Pradesh. The team will review the preparedness and arrangements for the upcoming assembly elections in the state. After arrival in Lucknow today, the Election Commission will interact with the representatives of various political parties. Tomorrow, a complete review meeting will be held with the DGPs, the State Home Ministry officials and expenditure officials. There are 403 seats in UP Assembly. The term of the current Assembly will expire on 14th May 2022. The BJP, Punjab Lok Congress and Shiromani Akali Dal Sanyukt will contest the forthcoming Punjab Assembly election together. This was announced by Union Minister and BJP leader Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, who is also the party in charge in Punjab.
कैप्टन साहब की पार्टी, ढींडसा साहब की पार्टी और भारतीय जनता पार्टी तीनों मिलकर चुनाव लड़ेंगे। आधिकारिक रूप से तीनों दलों के प्रमुख भारतीय जनता पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष आदरणीय जगत प्रकाश जी नड्डा, गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी, आदरणीय कैप्टन साहब अमरिंदर सिंह जी और आदरणीय ढींडसा साहब के बीच में एक लंबी वार्ता और बैठक संपन्न हुई है और बैठक के बाद में इस बात की आधिकारिक घोषणा हम सब लोग मिलकर के कर रहे हैं कि तीनों पार्टियां साथ मिलकर के चुनाव लड़ेंगे। ये तय किया गया है कि सीटों के बंटवारे को लेकर के, संख्या को लेकर के और कौन सी पार्टी लड़ेगी इसको लेकर के तीनों ही दलों के दो प्रतिनिधियों की एक कमेटी बनाई जाएगी।
Home Minister Amit Shah chaired the third Apex level meeting of Narco Coordination Center NCORD at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi yesterday. Several key decisions were taken during the meeting. The Home Minister asked the states to constitute a dedicated anti-narcotics task force under the DGP to act as the Secretariat of the state NCORD. He also instructed for the formation of a central NCORD unit under NCB at the national level. Mr. Shah also suggested to develop narcotics training module at national level to train police, CAPF personnel, prosecutors and people from various civil departments. During the meeting, the decision was taken to create an effective mechanism to prevent the increasing use of darknet and cryptocurrency in the business of narcotics. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Pariksha Pe Charcha, which is held for students before their exams, will be held early next year. The registrations for the same will begin today and will go on till January the 20th. Mr. Modi announced the plans for the next Pariksha Pe Charcha in his Mann Ki Baat program on Sunday.
हर साल मैं ऐसे ही विषयों पर विद्यार्थियों के साथ परीक्षा पर चर्चा करता हूँ। इस साल भी एग्जाम से पहले मैं स्टूडेंट्स के साथ चर्चा करने की प्लानिंग कर रहा हूँ। इस कार्यक्रम के लिए 28 दिसंबर से mygov.in पर रजिस्ट्रेशन भी शुरू होने जा रहा है। ये रजिस्ट्रेशन 28 दिसंबर से 20 जनवरी तक चलेगा। इसके लिए क्लास 9 से 12 तक के स्टूडेंट्स, टीचर्स और पेरेंट्स के लिए ऑनलाइन कंपटीशन भी आयोजित होगा। मैं चाहूंगा कि आप सब इसमें जरूर हिस्सा लें। आपसे मुलाकात करने का मौका मिलेगा। हम सब मिलकर परीक्षा, कैरियर, सफलता और विद्यार्थी जीवन से जुड़े अनेक पहलुओं पर मंथन करेंगे।
The News Services Division, in its special year-ender series, The Year That Was, brings you glimpses of the year 2021. Today we take a look at Connecting India Beyond Miles. The Narendra Modi government has laid special emphasis on improving rail, road and air connectivity to facilitate movement of people and to enhance economic activities. In this direction, the government has launched several schemes including Bharatmala Pariyojana, Dedicated Freight Corridor and Udan scheme. This year, on the occasion of Independence Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said in his speech that 75 Vande Bharat trains will connect every corner of the country. He said the pace at which new airports are being built in the country and the Udan scheme connecting remote areas is unprecedented. Our correspondent reports that enhancing connectivity in various parts of the region ensures economic activity to spread, allowing underdeveloped regions to catch up and drive balanced and inclusive growth. More on this in our report.
The government has set a target of 12,000 kilometers of national highway for construction during the current financial year 2021-22, against which over 5,000 kilometers have been constructed so far. Currently, 2,283 national highway projects are going on in the country. With a view to enhance regional air connectivity, the Ministry of Civil Aviation came out with Regional Connectivity Scheme Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik Udan in 2016. Under the scheme, 4 rounds of Udan have been conducted and 948 routes have been awarded so far to over 100 airports. Out of these awarded routes, 393 Udan routes have already commenced, connecting 62 Udan airports. For enhancement of railway connectivity in northeastern states, 20 projects costing over 74,000 crore rupees are under different stages of execution. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
Between December the 28th and the 30th, 1883, the first national-level conference of the organization, the Indian Association, was held in Kolkata. The Indian Association was founded by Surendranath Banerjee and Anand Mohan Bose in 1876.
It was the most significant nationalist organization before the formation of Indian National Congress in 1885. The first session of Indian Association was presided over by Ram Tanu Lahiri, a veteran of Bengal's social reform movements. The issues discussed were self-governance, education, separation of judiciary from executive functions, and greater employment of Indians in public service.
যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে তবে একলা চলো একলা চলো।
The objectives of Indian Association were to promote the political, intellectual and material advancement of the people.
It advocated for the unity of people of India on the basis of common political interest and aspirations, promotion of communal harmony and the inclusion of the masses in the great public movement of the time.
The Indian Association expressed its solidarity and decided its merger with the Congress in December 1886.
एक है अपनी ज़मीन, एक है अपना गगन, एक है अपना जहां, एक है अपना वतन.
On the 28th of December 1885, the first session of the Indian National Congress was held in Bombay with 72 delegates. More than just a political party, it was an assembly for politically minded individuals who were interested in governmental reforms. In the first 20 years, the Congress sought greater political autonomy within the empire.
However, after the 1905 partition of Bengal, it raised demands for substantial political reform and eventually for complete independence from the British Empire. The founding members of Congress included Allan Octavian Hume, Badruddin Tayyabji, Umesh Chandra Banerjee, Surendranath Banerjee, Firoz Shah Mehta, Dadabhai Nauroji, K.T. Telang, G.K. Pillai, P. Rangaya Naidu, and Gopal Ganesh Agarkar. In 1920s, under the influence of Mahatma Gandhi, Congress was transformed from an assembly dominated by Western-educated elites to a mass organization that appealed to diverse sections of the Indian public to fight together for Indian independence.
यह मन का पत्थर है ओ भूखे वनवासी, छोड़ो निष्क्रिय आलस, छोड़ो ग्लानि उदासी. यह मन का पतझड़ है ओ भूखे वनवासी, छोड़ो निष्क्रिय आलस, छोड़ो ग्लानि उदासी. नई कोपले आने को बन के शालों में, नई कोपले कुंठित जनमन की दालों में, तुम विकास कामी परिवर्तन के अभ्यासी. ये शाश्वत मधुरित के अंतर्मुख शिशु पल्लव, ये शाश्वत मधुरित के अंतर्मुख शिशु पल्लव नव भावों की दीप्ति भरेंगे, नव ऋतु वैभव, नव श्री शोभा पान करेंगे आंखें प्यासी।
Today, we also remember eminent Hindi poet Sumitra Nandan Pant, who died on the 28th of December 1977. Widely referred to as the third pillar of Chayavad, he was the first Hindi poet to be awarded the Gyanpith. A poet of nature, he was deeply influenced by Mahatma Gandhi, Rabindranath Tagore and Aurobindo Ghosh. In an ode to Gandhi from his Gyanpith winner collection, Chidambara, he said,
बापू तुमसे सुन आत्मा का तेज राशि आवाहन, हंस उठते हैं रोम हर से पुलकित होते प्राण, नहीं जानता युग विवर्त में होगा कितना जन क्षय, पर मनुष्य को सत्य अहिंसा इष्ट रहेंगे निश्चय।
In 1960, Pant received the Sahitya Academy Award. The Indian government honored him with Padma Bhushan in 1961. He died on the 28th of December 1977 at Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. His childhood house in Kausani, Uttarakhand, has been converted into a museum.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewellery. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
India will chair the Counter-Terrorism Committee of UN Security Council in January 2022, after 10 years. The Counter-Terrorism Committee was established by Security Council Resolution 1373 adopted unanimously on 28th of September 2001 after 9/11 terror attacks in the US. In cricket, India beat Afghanistan by 4 wickets in their last group match to storm into the semi-finals of Under-19 Asia Cup in Dubai yesterday. Putting to bat first, Afghanistan scored 259 for 4 in the 50 overs. In reply, India overhauled the target with 10 balls to spare, losing 6 wickets.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky. Bengaluru witnessed fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Imphal, Aizawl, Guwahati and Agartala had fog in the morning and will have mainly clear sky later.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. With restrictions beginning in the capital again, the Hindustan Times leads with the case 331, night curfew begins, Delhi in huddle over fresh curbs. Underlining the need to eradicate drugs from the country, Amit Shah chairs third apex level Narco Coordination Center meeting in Delhi, writes the Statesman. And finally, inching towards green goals, flex fuel vehicles, automakers get 6 months deadline, writes the Financial Express.
Before we end the bulletin, a reminder of today's question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Which great patriot, considered as the father of the Indian School of Modern Chemistry, said, "Science can wait, but Swaraj cannot"? WhatsApp your response on 8826546262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate completed section of Kanpur Metro Rail and Bina Panki multi-product pipeline today. Health Ministry issues guidelines for vaccination of children and booster dose rollout. Centre asks poll-bound states to ramp up vaccination. Full Election Commission to arrive in Lucknow today to review preparations for assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. Home Ministry decides to create a mechanism to prevent increasing use of dark net and cryptocurrency in narcotics trade. Registration for Prime Minister's Pariksha Pe Charcha program begins today on mygov.in. And in Under-19 cricket, India defeat Afghanistan by 4 wickets to enter semi-finals of the Asia Cup in Dubai. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.